the values of true love, true lineage, and filial piety. And this is substantiated through the holy marriage blessing to create families centered on these values. If you'd like to learn more, you can type hashtag connect in the Facebook chat or sign our guest book at nationalfamilyservice.org. That's nationalfamilyservice.org. With that, let's kick things off with our opening song.
For our opening song today, let's go to Los Angeles, California to sing and clap along with the LA band as they play the song Down by the Riverside.
Let's put our hands together, everybody.
Gonna lay down my burden down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. Gonna lay down my burden down by the riverside, down by the riverside. I ain't gonna study more no more. Ain't gonna study war 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 no more. Down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. I'm gonna put on my holy robe, down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. I'm gonna put on my holy robe, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. Study war no more. Ain't gonna 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 study war no more. Yeah, down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by. All right, play your guitar. Couples around the world, down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. All of us couples around the world, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study riverside.
Thank you, LA Band, for that opening song. Now let's join Reverend Carl Swerson for our opening prayer.
Please join us in prayer. Dear Heavenly Parents, as we begin this Sunday service, let us become united as brothers and sisters across this nation and even the globe in prayers for one another, especially for those who are alone in suffering, in need of your guidance. May they receive it. Through our prayers and our actions, may we each strive to make it possible for your words to be heard and your love to be felt by those who need it most. As we listen to today's message, honoring the life and the works of our Father Moon, let our hearts be attuned to you and to one another, so that we may become better people than we were yesterday, living examples of your love and your goodness. Please offer your wisdom and insights this morning through Pastor Nelson. May we receive. We all want this world, and ourselves included, to be a place where you are honored and your desire that we all learn to live for the sake of others will abide in each of us today and every day. We offer this prayer sincerely in all of our names and in the name of Carl and George.
Now let's make our way to Clifton, New Jersey for an original song titled Superman Blues, performed by the Hometown Blues Band.
This is the Heavenly Blues, the Superman Blues. I'm a Superman. What I do, anybody can. I said I'm a Superman. What I do, anybody can. Well, believe in the power of true love. You can be a real man. I don't bear no bars of steel. Can't outrun a speeding train. The power of faith that makes it real, and you can have it just the same. Be a Superman. What I do, anybody can. Well, believe in the power of true love. You can be a real man. Never have the feeling you could change the world. Stand up and defend the good. Can do it together, it's a part of everyone, and everyone should be a Superman. What I do, anybody can. Well, believe in the power of true love. You can be a real man. Talk to me, Peter. Well, I tell you that you're bound to fall. 'Cause what you give is what you get. You heard it a lot, but you ain't learned it yet. I tell you, ain't no power that can stop what's true. No evil scheme, no rich man's game. It's only true if it comes down to you, and it's message of faith and love. Today, you're Superman. What I do, anybody can. Well, believe in the power of true love. You can be a real man. I said I'm a Superman. What I do, anybody can. I said I'm a Superman. What I do, anybody can. Well, believe in the power of true love, and you can be a real man. And woman too. Superman Blues.
Thank you, Hometown Blues, for such an awesome song, and to Uncle Carl for an opening prayer, and of course the LA Band, the gift that keeps on giving. You can always count on you for an awesome song as well. And now, brothers and sisters, it's time for our main message today. This coming week is Father Moon's Sunhwa, his anniversary of his ascension, and so we have a message prepared for that today by the Family Federation President Naokimi Shirota. Welcome, President Naokimi.
Happy Sunday, everyone. In a couple of days, on August 24th, we will be celebrating the 9th anniversary of Father Moon's ascension. Today, I wanted to take some time to reflect on his life and honor the legacy that he left us. In our unification tradition, when people pass away, we host a funeral service called the Sunghwa ceremony. Let's read. The moment of entry into the spirit world is the moment after your life on earth has bloomed and borne fruit, when you embrace the fruit of your life. It is a moment that comes only once. That is why you should rejoice in that moment. Others should congratulate you as much as they desire and then send you off. In that moment, they should shed tears of joy, not tears of sadness. So in our tradition and our understanding, our life is like the stages of a butterfly, where there's the egg, there's the caterpillar stage, and then there's the butterfly. It's very similar to our human life, where we believe there's 3 stages. One stage is in the womb, where you're enveloped in this world of water. And then when we're born, we enter this realm on earth, where we're surrounded by air. And then when we pass away, there is this 3rd stage where we go to the spirit realm. And that's where we're enveloped with this realm of love. So each stage prepares you for the next stage of life. So it's really important that, just like in the mother's womb, all the nutrients and we're developed fully so that we can function well in the life on earth. And similarly, in order to function well in the life and spirit world, it's really important that we cultivate our ability to love while here on earth. So if you live the life well, it's quite natural and joyful to transition into your next stage of life. And this is the ideal. Now, sometimes people pass unexpectedly and in difficult circumstances. And in those times, we're forced to ask why it happened in such a way. And in those cases, it's really through faith and love that we can come to a deeper understanding of why it happened in such a way, and to help us to overcome the natural, pains we may feel in those situations. When Father Moon passed in 2012, it was truly a shock to our whole worldwide community. I was able to find some images, and I'd like to kind of reflect on that together with all of you. So here is the Songhua altar. It was huge. I mean, it was filling the whole stage in the Chongqing 1 World Peace Center, which was a stadium. This is the view of the whole stadium. Inside the stadium, it was full of the Songhua attendees that came from all around the world to really honor Father Moon and his life. Yeah, I remember lining up also outside, and there was a huge overflow room even outside the stadium. And even there's inside the stadium, and there's this outside realm of the stadium itself. There's people indoors that are outside the stadium. And then there's the outside, which is also where they were seating for thousands more. Here's the funeral procession where, they were kind of moving the body to the stage and having members of the True Family part of that procession. This is some images of dignitaries and religious leaders who are offering their respect through the offering of flowers. I remember actually every member had a chance. There was a section underneath the stadium where everyone had a chance to offer flowers as well. And finally, this is an image of Mother Moon offering her kind of final greeting. I remember when I first found out, I was in the Manhattan Center in New York City on the 8th floor in the back family room. And I felt so many different emotions. First was really shock. I felt like he wasn't supposed to pass away, that, being who he was, that, God would work miracles and keep him alive. But the reality was that he passed away. Also, I remember thinking like Father Moon was emphasizing Foundation Day, which was a new kind of day or new beginning for the world on January 13th, 2013, which was just 4 months later. And I remember feeling really, kind of sad or sorry that Father passed away before being able to see that day, which he was talking about so much. And also I felt serious concern about the future of our community. What's going to happen? Our whole community was so centered on, every word and direction that was coming out from Father Moon. And so with him passing, it's like, how are we going to actually direct and steer this whole community from now on? And I remember even attending the ceremony and seeing Mother Moon. She also said how shocked she was. And I felt this kind of weight that was on her shoulders now that Father had passed, and seeing her really having to take this burden and this great responsibility. So it was definitely a challenging time. Part of me felt like this wasn't the way it was supposed to be. And there were so many things personally that I also had to process to understand what was going on. But fortunately, Mother Moon held strong and determined to continue Father's legacy and God's will for our community. And I remember those first 3 years after Father Moon passed, she really dedicated every day to visit the grave site, the Wonjeon, and really take time to prepare a meal in the traditional Korean way, and spend time to connect in heart with Father Moon. And 3 years later, she declared the completion of this kind of mourning period. And since then has really led our global community to tremendous lengths. So in honor of Father Moon's life, although there's really no way we can cover it all in one Sunday sermon or a lecture or even a workshop 7 days, but I would like to quickly go over some key milestones of his life. The first milestone is when Father Moon received his mission from Jesus at the young age of 15. Let's read from his autobiography. Early Easter morning, after I had spent the entire night in prayer, Jesus appeared before me. He said to me, God is in great sorrow because of the pain of humankind. I saw clearly the sorrowful face of Jesus. I heard his voice clearly. His words were extraordinary, having to do with saving humanity from its suffering and bringing joy to God. Later on in the book, he also shares, my encounter with Jesus changed my life completely. His sorrowful expression was etched into my heart as if it had been branded there, and I could not think of anything else. From that day on, I immersed myself completely in the Word of God. I embraced new words of truth that Jesus was giving me directly and let myself be completely captivated by God. I began to live an entirely different life. Reflecting on that passage, I can't help but feel like what an extraordinary life. And even at such a young age, 15, he was praying in the middle of the night on Easter Sunday, really crying out to find out why such suffering existed in the world. Father Moon grew up in war-torn North Korea, and he was asking God some serious questions. But really, since that time, since that encounter with Jesus, Father Moon's motivation in everything that he did was really to respond to and fulfill what Jesus asked him to do, to complete this mission of liberating humanity and ultimately to liberate the suffering that God was feeling, observing and witnessing the suffering of humanity. The second milestone is discovering and writing the original divine principle. I believe this happened when he was between the age of 25 and 32. So still pretty young, but that was a time when he was really seeking to understand the deeper truths, really receiving revelation, and ultimately compiling it into an original text. Let's read. The unification principle connects everything by the laws of nature. That is why it is called the principle. It is heaven's principle. That is to say, it is the eternally unchanging principle. The principle is not a doctrine. It is not a doctrine of the Unification Church. The principle is heaven's law. The divine principle is the way to become God's sons and daughters. It also inspires us to become loyal citizens. After I debated with the founders of numerous historical religions, God acknowledged the truth of the principle. The divine principle is the fruit of the past, of the present, and of the future. All people must follow it as a higher truth, a higher ideology, a higher will, and a higher way of living and acting. My experience with the divine principle is that it is such a comprehensive worldview, and it provides such clarity around life's most important questions. Questions like, who is God? Or what is the purpose of life? Why is there so much suffering? And, what happens after I die? I remember in college, I studied world religions, and as I studied each of the different philosophies and religions and perspectives, it really further confirmed the profound clarity of truth that's been expressed through the divine principle. Actually, many of the religions have very similar key points, fundamental points. And I just found that in the divine principle, it's articulated in a way that is very profoundly clear. A third milestone in the is the holy wedding ceremony of Father and Mother Moon, which fulfills the prophecy of the marriage supper of the Lamb. Let's read. During the ceremony, I told my bride, this is Father Moon. During the ceremony, I told my bride that she was about to embark on a difficult course. We are becoming husband and wife to complete the mission given to us by God to become true parents, and not to pursue the happiness of two individuals, as is the case with other people in this world. She responded, "My heart is already set. Please do not worry." This is truly what God has been waiting for, that a true son and a true daughter can finally be united in matrimony with his approval and blessing. This is something that didn't happen with the first ancestors of Adam and Eve, and God's been wanting and longing to restore that, to be able to claim his own children, humanity, as his own children. A fourth milestone is the Washington Monument Bicentennial God Bless America Festival. So this was, I think, 1976, when he was 56 years old. Let's read. The Washington Monument Rally was the largest religious rally ever held in the nation's capital, and over 300,000 people came. The world felt threatened after they saw that huge gathering, and governments tried to use their power to suppress us. The Washington Monument Rally was the culminating showdown of my entire life. You know, this event actually happened before I was born. And I know that some of you watching today were actually there in Washington, D.C. at that time. You know, it must have been quite a spectacle, as you can see here. A fifth milestone is the meetings with the top communist leaders of the time, President Mikhail Gorbachev from the Soviet Union, as well as with Chairman Kim Il-sung of North Korea just a year later. Let's read. My visit to Moscow in April 1990 for a meeting with President Mikhail Gorbachev, and my visit to Pyongyang the next year for a meeting with President Kim Il-sung were not simple journeys. They were taken at the risk of my life. It was my destiny to go on these journeys to convey heaven's will to these men. Also, as you can see in the images, Mother Moon was right there beside Father Moon, and she also mentions these experiences in her memoir, The Mother of Peace. So let's read from her experience as well. In the Kremlin, we said to the leaders that they should remove the statues of Lenin and accept God. In the presidential residence in North Korea, we spoke out. On that foundation, President Mikhail Gorbachev and Chairman Kim Il-sung opened their hearts. We never wavered for the sake of the liberation of God's homeland. This is amazing. I mean, talk about risking your life to proclaim God's word. Going into the center and heart of the communist world, talking and meeting with the top leader who can literally, kill you at the snap of a finger or a command, and declaring on behalf of God about God's existence and pointing out the flaws of their ideology. I mean, this is pretty insane, but Father and Mother Moon did that because they felt this was the message that God wanted to convey. And the sixth milestone is establishing UPF, the Universal Peace Federation. This was at the young age of 85 for Father Moon. Let's read from his inauguration speech, the inauguration speech of Universal Peace Federation that Father Moon gave in 2005. The United Nations has made important contributions for peace. The number of member states approaches 200, but the offices of these states do little more than represent and even insist on their own interests. They seem inherently unable to resolve conflicts and achieve peace. For these reasons, I declare today before all humanity the founding of a new international organization, the Universal Peace Federation. Its mission is to renew the existing United Nations and provide a new level of leadership as an able-type United Nations. UPF is still one of our key organizations contributing towards this vision of a peaceful world. I attended their conference. It was called the International Leadership Conference just yesterday for the closing remarks. But really, no other organization can bring experts from all different fields and also heads of state from different countries that have not only, different cultures and perspectives, but totally different worldviews. But centered on the vision of peace, UPF, the Universal Peace Federation, is able to bring these leaders from all around the world together. And I feel like that's amazing. And that vision started with Father and Mother Moon really launching the Universal Peace Federation. As I said earlier, there is really no way to do complete justice to the full life that Father Moon led. But I wanted to leave you with 3 legacies that I really appreciate from Father Moon's life. The first is simply the uncovering or the discovering of the principle, the divine principle. I was inspired by a statement from Father Moon that he said one time that we should read the divine principle as many times as we are old. And I was in a workshop, a summer camp, where they were sharing this kind of message from Father Moon. And I remember from actually age 13, after hearing that message, I decided that I wanted to fulfill that kind of recommendation or suggestion from Father Moon. So I looked around and I found the original Divine Principle book. And I remember over here, I started, this is January 7th of 93. I started a condition where every day I would read 7 pages of the book. So from age 13 to age 17, I literally read 7 pages every day for about 4 years to catch up to my age, in terms of the number of times that I read the Divine Principle from cover to cover. And, it was really, I think I didn't fully understand it from the beginning, but as I read it over and over, I became even more clear about the key points that were being made. And I remember by age 15, I was participating in lecture contests and writing articles about the blessing in my school newspaper. The second legacy that I appreciate most is our blessed families. Actually, before I go there, I do want to go back to the first point. I just want to say that the principle has really given me a worldview and just a framework of thinking that has helped me just be clear throughout my life, what I wanted to invest in, what to focus on, about maturing my heart, really creating a beautiful family, and really being a contribution to the world. And I feel like this perspective is so powerful, especially at a young age, to convey to the youth. Anyway, moving on, the second legacy that I appreciate is our blessed families. Let's read. We have conducted what we call the blessing ceremony for over half a century, blessing in marriage hundreds of thousands of couples of all races, nations, and religions throughout the world. The marriage blessing ceremony conducted by the true parents is a sacrament rooted in single-minded devotion. It is a ceremony of true love, and true love embodies sacrifice. Naturally and joyfully, we should sacrifice ourselves for our beloved. This is nowhere more evident than in our cross-cultural marriages. This is brilliant. I believe that the blessing of marriage, this cross-cultural marriage, is the single most important thing that will contribute substantially to world peace, more than anything else in the world. Think about it. When people from different cultures, whether, or different countries, Japan and Korea, like, let's say they get married, right? Their children are both Japanese and Korean. And, there's been a lot of fighting and hatred between these countries, but the children of that kind of couple naturally feels connected to both sides. They will be the embodiment of the union of these countries. They will be the natural ambassadors that can bring peace between those two countries. And Father and Mother Moon have been promoting these cross-cultural marriage blessing for the sake of peace. Imagine getting married for the sake of world peace. That is the vision behind these blessing of marriage. And it's not easy. It says here, we should sacrifice ourselves for our beloved, meaning we need to really overcome all the resentments of the past and challenges to be able to love somebody represented from a different country or a different culture. And so this really gives a higher meaning and purpose to our marriages, and really can contribute directly to world peace. When I was blessed, actually, I was a Japanese citizen. My wife was also, an American citizen. We're both ethnically Japanese, but I felt in one sense, culturally, we might have been a cross-cultural marriage. But in any case, any marriage is challenging, but the point is to have this higher purpose in mind. And the third and final legacy that I appreciate most from Father Moon is simply his devoted love for God. Let's read. So why did God call me? Even now at 90 years of age, I wonder every day why God called me. Of all the people in the world, why did he choose me? It wasn't because I had a particularly good appearance or outstanding character or deep conviction. I was just an unremarkable, stubborn, and foolish young boy. If God saw something in me, it must have been a sincere heart that sought him with tears of love. Even now, I insist uncompromisingly on sacrificing my life to live for God's love and nothing else. Yeah, this is really the story of Father Moon's life. There's many who challenge and even critique some aspects of his life, but without a doubt, everything that he did with this kind of heart to liberate God's heart. So, in honor of your life, Father Moon, just want to say that we love you and we truly miss you. And as we commemorate the 9th anniversary of Father Moon's ascension, let's honor his life, the life that he lived, and the legacy that he left behind by applying the principle, studying it, celebrating our blessed culture, and ultimately striving to love God and attend God as he did. And let us work together to support Mother Moon, who is really working the hardest and is at the forefront in keeping Father's legacy alive. I hope you're able to gain something, deep insight, or at least a reflection on the life and legacy of Father Moon. I hope you have an amazing week ahead, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you, everyone, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, President Alkimi, for your message today. I know I was personally transformed by reading Father's autobiography as a peace-loving global citizen. And I thank you for going over the legacies. So I noticed in every single legacy, divine principle, marriage, blessing, and love, that's something that I seek to embody. And more than just that, I see the beauty of just as I keep going. So thank you so much for your message today, President Alkimi. And now, brothers and sisters, let's spend the next minute reflecting on the question, what do you appreciate about Father Moon and his life? What do you appreciate about Father Moon and his life? All right, welcome back, everyone. While we're reflecting on this, I'd like to invite up our live reflection panelists today, Cindy Pfeiffer from North Dakota and from Minnesota, Ricky Menning. Welcome, everyone. So President Alkimi gave a really incredible, for me, very heart-touching message today on the life of Father Moon. We know his anniversary, the anniversary of his son was coming up this week. I'd like to start off with Cindy Pfeiffer. You could share with us anything that stood out to you today, any takeaways from today's National Family Service.
Thank you, Rashford. It's very hard to reflect for me on Father Moon's life because I saw him so many times and feel so honored, to share something. When Father Moon was embracing Kim Il-sung and President Gorbachev, it reminded me of Jesus's words of loving your enemy, praying for those who persecute you, and bless those who curse you. This is a very hard point, to really love your enemy. And then how is it that you can make your enemy become your friend so you don't have any enemies? That's truly our goal. So I thought of an experience when the leaders from the East Bloc countries, the political leaders and those in office, they were invited to upstate New York to our church's headquarters there for to be recognized for what they endured under communism. And during that time, Father Moon spoke to those from the East Bloc and to everyone, and he was telling them about the aspects of communism that were not centered on God and that it didn't bring a bright light to their country. And so anyway, he really exposed communism. And with the people from the West, he was saying that they speaking about excessive materialism and being overly self-centered. So anyway, both of them received scolding, but then what was the answer? The ones from the East Bloc said, Father Moon scolded both of us, the East and the West. He loved us both. So they felt in that scolding that they were receiving love. So it made me reflect upon what is the heart of love? You have to have a broad enough spirit that you can absorb the difficulty and the pain that is with someone else. And so if you have enough love and pray, and it would follow Jesus's way of praying for those who mistreat you, eventually that person will not feel you are their enemy. They will feel is love. So it made me feel how far I probably have to go and work on to make my spirit broad enough that as I pray for what I consider an enemy, that hopefully in my life I will get rid of any thought of any enemy and consider them as our friends. So that was my reflection. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Pfeiffer. I really love hearing stories about experiences with Father. And that's not something I was able to experience personally. And next, we're going to go on to Ricky Menning. So we just heard from the first generation, someone who spent a lot of time with Father. But let's hear from a second generation, someone who perhaps didn't spend as much time, but is sort of the fruit and part of the legacy of Father Mr. Ricky. Yeah, what's the outlook there?
So definitely, even though I've never met Father Moon, I could definitely see the fruits of his labors all throughout the world. The fact that I can meet blessed families all over the world, from Latin America, from Europe, from Asia to all around the States and from Canada, and I can meet them. We're strangers 1 minute, and 5 minutes we're brothers or we're sisters or we're just family. And why? The only connection that we have is that our families knew Father Moon, or that we only exist because of Father Moon. And just that connection, whoever can make that connection must have been a remarkable person. And Father Moon was a remarkable person. I hear stories about how when he was 15, President Al-Kimi said today, he took up the mantle. God sent him a message and he took that message and he ran with it. He was 15. What was I doing when I was 15? I was an Oompa Loompa for a school play. Granted, I carried the play, but Father Moon carried the world. That was such a big difference. And he wrote the DP, the Divine Principle, such a theologically comprehensive book. And he wrote it when he wasn't in America. He wrote it when in an unstable time, in an unstable period. And he didn't have access to the internet. I don't know how to write a paper without the internet. I can't look up. Your father didn't have that. Father Moon didn't have that. And so the fact that he was able to create the DP, to receive the message from God and run with it, and actually show result, he made blessed families all around the world. I'm pretty sure in 7 continents, there are blessed families. And I'm sure if we all meet each other, even though we may have language barriers, I'm sure we can all find ways to relate because we all knew Father Moon. So I just think he's a fascinating person, beyond fascinating, just from the stories we tell, and you can see the reality of his works with each and every one of us, with his community and all around the world. So he's great. What else can I say? That's it.
Thanks a lot. Thank you, Ricky. Oompa Loompa is 15. I don't know what I was doing at 15 either. But one thing you did mention, you said that Father, there wasn't internet, back then when he wrote the Divine Principle, and there wasn't.
Oh, wasn't.
Yeah. So he was able to receive all of this through inspiration, through prayer, right, from God. And I thought about, the internet is really just cables running through the ocean, connecting continents together, and us sort of exchanging information. But and it's trying to connect us. But ultimately, when we connect to God, maybe that's the heavenly internet, right? We get to know everything, and we're all connecting hearts. So maybe Father had pioneered something that came up to me as you mentioned that, Ricky. And also, President Al-Kimi mentioned about reading Divine Principle as many times as you are old. Have any of you read Divine Principle close to as many times as you're old?
Cover to cover?
Cover to cover.
Every word? I need about 20
the page numbers. Well, it looks like we all have homework to do. Thank you for joining us for the live panels. Thank you for sharing your reflections today. If you'd like to learn more about Father Moon, His autobiography, I believe, is on Amazon. You can go to Amazon or hsabooks.com. As a peace-loving global citizen, I've been personally transformed by this. So if you just like to learn more about Father Moon and his legacy as a follow-up to today's sermon, go ahead and order this book. It's relatively inexpensive on Amazon or at hsabooks.com. All right, brothers and sisters, let us go on to our closing prayer from Pastor Hebanja Kisile.
Now let's head over to Indianapolis, Indiana, to join Pastor Hebanja Kisile for our closing prayer.
Right. Good morning, brothers and sisters. Please join me in prayer. Dear God, our Heavenly Parents, thank you so much for this day. Thank you for this opportunity to fellowship together. Today, we are celebrating the life of Father Moon, our true Father. We thank you so much that we are able to live in this time with him. Many of us have had many experiences with him. Many of us have been transformed by his life example, Heavenly Parent. And today, we remember him, Heavenly Parent, as the true example of what it means to be a filial son toward heaven. We remember him as the true example of what it means to be a true teacher. And we remember him as a true example of what it means to be a true parent. Having loved all mankind with the heart of heaven. I pray that on this day, as we celebrate his life, that we can truly inherit that kind of heart. We want to remember that you are calling us to be the true parents to each one of us is being called today to embody this heart, Heavenly Parent. So we want to reiterate our engagement today that this dream, the dream of a world of peace for which you called Father Moon when he was just 16 years old, is going to go on. This dream is not going to die. And Heavenly Parents, we are renewing our commitment today that we'll move on together, work together with our true mother, leading this providence until this world is a world of peace, fully restored to the kind of world that you had intended it to be in the beginning, Heavenly Parents. So I pray that as you spoke to Father Moon when he was just 16 years old, you can continue to speak to the heart of each of your children gathered here, guiding them to their life purpose, Heavenly Parent. I pray that your love, your guidance can be present in our families, that we can continue to make efforts to live as blessed central families, Heavenly Parents. So I want to bless this week. I pray that this can be a week where your will can be done, where each one of us can come to a deeper experience of your heart. But I pray your blessing on your children, so Heavenly Parents, we can be a blessing to this world. So go in front of us, precede our steps, and guide us, Heavenly Parents. There's a lot going on in the world, Heavenly Parents, but we want to remember that we are called, we are chosen for such a time as this, Heavenly Parents. So allow us to show up in love and show up in truth and show up, Heavenly Parents, on your behalf. So I pray that all your children here can continue to be blessed and be guided by you. And I want to offer this on behalf of all of us gathered here, Blessed Central families, and in my name, Hebanja, member of the Blessed Central family, I pray. Ajo.
And for our closing song, let's go to San Diego, California to hear the band All the Above perform the song Ocean Floor.
The mistakes I've made that cause pain could have done without all my selfish thoughts, all my pride, the things I hide that you have forgot about. They're all behind you, they'll never find you. They're on the ocean floor. Your sins are forgotten. They're on the bottom of the ocean floor. My misdeeds, all my grief, all the things that haunt me now, they're not a pretty sight to see, but they're wiped away by a mighty, mighty wave, mighty, mighty wave, yeah. They're all behind you, they'll never find you. They're on the ocean floor. Your sins are forgotten. They're on the bottom of the ocean floor. Your sins are erased and they are no more. They're out on the ocean floor. Take them away to return no more. Take them away to the ocean floor, to the ocean floor, to the ocean floor. They'll never find you. They're on the ocean floor. They are behind you. Sins are forgotten. They're on the bottom of the ocean floor. Your sins are erased and they are no more. They're out on the ocean floor. Your sins are forgotten. Sins are forgotten. They're on the bottom. They're on the bottom of the ocean floor. Ocean floor. Your sins are erased and they are no more. They're out on the ocean floor.
Thank you very much, All the Above, for such a beautiful closing song. And thank you, Pastor Hebanja, for your closing prayer. And now, brothers and sisters, this about wraps up today's Sunday service. But before we go, let's go on to today's challenge of the week. That's right. Today's challenge of the week is to share one of Father Moon's legacies with someone who doesn't know about it. You can share about any of Father Moon's legacies with someone who doesn't know about it. If you'd like to learn more, once again, his autobiography is As a Peace-Loving Global Citizen. And now, if you'd like to give, you're feeling inspired and would like to give to support National Family Service, you can head over to nationalfamilyservice.org/donate to donate nationalfamilyservice.org/donate, or you can just go up there. There's a give button at the top. You just click that to donate. If you're on Facebook, just type a hashtag donate in the Facebook chat, and you'll be given a link to help support this ministry. So if you're also feeling that you gained something meaningful, feel free to share this link to anyone. That's nationalfamilyservice.org, to anyone that's your family, your friends, your coworkers, your neighbors, so that they can also gain this inspiration that you gained today. And that about wraps up today's Sunday service. Have a great week, everyone. We'll see you all next week at National Family Service. God bless you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye-bye.
Sound